In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the reference angle for a given angle. Before I do that, here's a little bit of notes that you're going to want to know. At the end of this video, we're going to have to subtract. So right now I'm going to tell you what number you're going to have to subtract depending on what quadrant you're in. So I'm just going to label this subtract. And if we wind up in quadrant 1, you will subtract actually nothing, or 0. If we end up in quadrant 2, you will subtract 180. If you're in quadrant 3, we will also subtract 180. But if we're in quadrant 4, you will subtract 360. And when you subtract, always do the big number minus the small number, because the reference angle should always be positive. So let's go ahead and do the actual problem. So here's my x and y axis. When you graph an angle, you always start with the positive x-axis is the initial side. When you have a positive angle like this one, you start off going up. So this is the positive direction, counterclockwise. If you ever have a negative angle, like say if this was negative 240, then you would start off going down in the clockwise direction. But for this particular problem, it's positive, so we're going to start off going up. And we need to rotate around until we get to 240 degrees. If I turn this far, that's 90 degrees so far. If I go this far, that would be 180 degrees. If I went all the way around to here, that would be 270 degrees, but that's too far because we want to stop at 240 degrees. So I know that I'm going to land somewhere in the third quadrant. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw the angle like this. Now the reference angle is always going to be between the terminal side and the x-axis. So the reference angle is always going to be touching the x-axis like this. Now it's time to subtract. Since we are in the third quadrant, we are going to subtract 180. So the angle is 240 degrees, so we just need to do 240 minus 180. So as you can see, we get 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is the reference angle, which is right here. Ta-da!